Hi, I'm Paola Ranova, and today we're going to talk about how to deal with toxic people. But before we dive in, make sure you have subscribed to our channel, that you have liked this video, that you have shared this with people you love, and that you encourage them to subscribe as well so we can keep getting your support and bringing new energy, new contents, and really the incentive to dive into the soul, to expand consciousness, to connect to the joy of life and all the good things in the world, right? So, all that being said, let's talk about how to deal with toxic people. First thing, stop labeling toxic people as toxic people. Start calling them difficult people, because when you label someone as toxic, first of all, you're putting yourself in a superiority position. You're thinking you're better than the other person. Second of all, you're not being very compassionate to that person's story, because difficult people are suffering. They're not happy. I'm not saying that we should enable them to be that way. We should encourage people to be happy and healthy and wonderful and stop bugging everybody else, right? It's not what I'm saying. But if you just use a different word to describe toxic people and start using difficult instead, you are raising your vibrational frequency. You're not putting yourself in a position of superiority. You're kind of honoring that person a lot more, because we don't know their story or his or her story. And even if you know their story, and it doesn't, it's no excuse, right? It doesn't justify his or her behavior. There are things in the background that we don't have access to. So it's just a choice to elevate the vibrational frequency and choosing lighter words. It brings a lot of benefits, and it still acknowledges reality, right? You're not sugarcoating things. It's a conscious spiritual choice to stop labeling others as toxic. And especially, I see a lot of people, I've seen this a lot in spiritual um, counseling and websites and memes and posts and internet and the internet and all of that, saying, don't feel guilty about cutting off toxic people from your life. Don't feel guilty about cutting off toxic people in your family from your life. This is what I really want to bring to your attention. Even if on a physical, material level, you don't speak to a family member, you're still connected to that person on a soul level. All right? So there is no way you can cut off family members. Even if you don't talk to them, even if you don't have a relationship with them, you have a bond on the soul level that you cannot escape. So I just want to point this out, that as human beings, we have three levels of consciousness. The structure level, which is collective, we belong to our families and to our cultures, right? It's where the family resides and the cultural conditioning resides, the structure level of consciousness, which is deep unconscious mind. We have an individual level, which is what I call the freedom level, where your conscious mind resides. And we have another collective level, which is the connection level, which is spiritual connection, which is also collective. So we're much more than individuals, we are collective beings. And you cannot escape the structure level of consciousness. And even if you have toxic people or difficult people, right, in your work environment or a friend, and seriously, friendships are not meant to be with toxic or difficult people. You have freedom with your friendships. If you have difficult friends, you need to observe yourself. And this is one of the things I want to bring up in this video. The difficult people that come into your life on a professional level or friendship level in your social life are actually mirror images of your family members. And if you have difficult family members, and know this is not easy for a lot of us, they are mirror images of your inner world. They're aspects of who you are. So every challenge in the external world is actually a gift from consciousness. It's a language of consciousness that's showing you what's inside you. So we are unaware of a lot of our unconscious contents, of what resides in the deep unconscious mind and the subconscious mind. And life gives us consciousness gifts by placing people in our lives. Some are wonderful, some are difficult. And the difficult ones, especially the family members, are there to teach us something. about ourselves, even if it's how to set healthy boundaries if you don't know how to do that. So when I say look at your family or difficult family members as gifts from consciousness and know how to deal with them, respect their pain, set healthy boundaries. I'm not saying you should start living with the person or even talking to them if you don't feel like that's going to be very healthy for you. I care about what's going on in your heart, how judgmental you are, the darts of negative energy that you are sending towards people that bother you. Start softening that kind of energy. Start observing more instead of judging. Choose a lighter word to describe that person and stop engaging in their difficult vibrations, or a lot of people call it toxicity, right? The more annoyed you get with people who challenge you, the more judgmental you get, and the more verbally accusive you are, the less you're going to be progressing in the elevation of your vibrational frequency in your personal growth path and your spiritual growth. So if there are difficult people in your family, that belongs to you. And even if you run away to the deserts of a remote country, it's not going to change, because you're either going to isolate yourself and not have relationships, or you're going to attract people in your social life that resemble the difficult family member until you deal with the root cause of the problem, which is the difficult family member, and understand why that person's there, what kind of experiences that person has had that has turned him or her into that. So start observing the quality of the energy of your family. And if it's not easy to deal with, that's also your responsibility, right? I'm not saying you should take care of difficult family members. I'm saying that the more you develop awareness about difficult people in your family, the more you know yourself. And the more you can even protect yourself from them on an energetic level, setting healthy boundaries. And I'm telling you, healthy boundaries are not set with judgment, are not set with harsh words to describe other people, labeling them as harsh. You know what I mean? You want to observe this in silence to understand it better. And then you become a lot more immune to that vibration. The more you run away from difficult people in your family, the more they're going to turn up as similar energies in your work environment, in your social environment, right? If you tend to choose difficult friends, you are unconsciously bonded to an energy in your family that you want to avoid. It's going to come up in your life, in your social life, if you don't deal with it at the source of the problem. Is that making sense? So, how to deal with difficult people? First thing, stop calling them toxic for your sake more than anything else. Second of all, make an effort to have compassion for their story, because difficult people are in pain. And I'm not saying, again, that you should enable these people, that you should justify what they're doing, be condescending. It's not what I'm saying. Just observe in silence and try to expand your consciousness about their story. Third of all, set healthy boundaries, which means it doesn't mean running away from them. If you run away from someone or a situation, it's because you don't know how to set boundaries. So face the situation and deal with the person, if you can, in a way that does not encourage them to be difficult with you. You will know what to do. Your intuition will kind of guide you. I'm sure it will, if you're willing. So set healthy boundaries with the person. You don't have to live with the person, call the person every day. Just redefine your relationship with that person in your heart. It's going to be a game changer, believe me. And you will notice this. Your social life is going to improve the more you find the sources of difficult people in your family, in your structural level of consciousness, so that you can start mastering your relationships with healthy boundaries. And another suggestion that I know is not easy, and a lot of people are going to say, you are insane, I can't do this, this is beyond my capacities. Just try it, okay? Silently, anonymously, from a distance, send unconditional, impersonal love to the people who are difficult in your life. Even if they have hurt you or wounded you, I know this is not an easy practice, but it does pay off. It's worth doing. Send these people unconditional love from your heart and see how that goes. Thank you for being here, and I will see you soon.